Yeah, this one right here for everybody who got that number 2. They don't know how to play their position. We don't take no L's, man. Huh.
I know you want it.
Just tell them, man, be patient.
Do you think you can handle it? You ain't my number one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had a little bit of a talk about this song behind the scenes, and we'll carry it over a little bit forward. But right now, you are listening to or watching, depending on whether or not you're on Liquid Fire Radio or one of the 17 channels we have, episode 95 of the Terrell Effect. Not the Terrell Effect. You see, I just did it. Candid Conversation. Episode 95 of Candid Conversations, and we have Money here with us, joining us via Restream. How you doing, my dude?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Everything's blessed, King. You know what I mean? It's just like life is a whirlwind right now. You know what I mean? Just so much happening, and you got to react as soon as it happens. So
Yeah, definitely.
It is. Yeah. So let's get a little bit of background. Let's give the people a little bit of background on that song that was playing in the intro. You just put up some advertising for that, yes?
Yes, definitely. So it's a new single I just dropped. It's called Play Your Position.
Yep.
It's not my story. I've been asked already. So you're a married man with a side piece? No, I was asked to, given an idea like, well, you should make a song like this. Let's see if you can do it. I said, all right, I'm gonna make it happen. And I guess how I went about it just sounds like it's my life. It's not at all.
Okay. No, and that's
Just
the
to
thing when
clarify.
you're as talented as you are, you know what I mean? When you're a talented storyteller, we'll say, you can convince the listener that it's your life kind of thing. And I find that a lot of people look to like hip hop as if everything that's said has reality to it. And I guess there is a lot of reality to it, because there are, you know what I mean, that kind of situation has been glorified in hip hop for a while, but it's changed a lot since, I want to say, the late 90s, early 2000s, where a lot of people who were once, bachelors and living a promiscuous life are now married and, you know what I mean, living a life in wedlock. So it's kind of interesting that, you know what I mean, that topic came up. So yeah, that's dope. So where are you from? How long have you been doing this? Let's get back into the history of Money.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm from Buffalo, New York, born and raised. I've been rapping since I say maybe the age of 16, maybe longer than that. But me and my cousin Tech, what I mean, we had a dream. We set on to get our mothers and grandmother out the hood, and unfortunately, in 2006, that changed. He was murdered, and it was a lot from there. But I made a promise to him. I'm gonna keep it going. You know what I mean? And that's where I am now with it. So I done been through it, and I'm pretty sure everybody done been through it. That's why, like, my music, it's like I like to tell stories. You know what I mean? Like, cause even though I'm not going through it, somebody out there is going through it, or they went through it. So it's kind of relatable.
It's true. It's true. So, I guess what I wanted to ask was, now, how do you find the music has changed since, I want to say, like, because I just did a 90s show a couple weeks back, and I realized in listening to that show that, like, music has definitely changed in some way. And like the 90s show was industry music, and I played mostly indie stuff, but the industry is influenced by the underground. I firmly believe that, and there wouldn't be an industry without the underground. So, so to see what had changed in the music and the style and the genre, it's like, what do you find is the biggest change in music since the 90s?
Well, I mean, it's actually the flow of the rap. You know, it's like the things that they're talking about. You know, it's everything has changed. You know, and it's like that's for this generation. You know, I'm a '90s, you know, well, an '80s baby. So you know, I'm back in that era. So I'm trying to bring that back. I call that hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's rap. I mean, it's nice. It's dope. I ain't gonna lie about it. You know what I mean? But it's that's not my style of rap. You know, I don't cuss in my music neither. None of that. So it's just like
Oh, let me hail you up for that, my dude. That's one thing that was the other thing I forgot to mention. I didn't hear one profanity in the word in the music. And I
no sir.
find it's like it's very tasteful. It's like people get this misconception about jerk seasoning, for example, right?
Right.
If you use it in moderation, it's so delicious. But if you use too much of it, then it's not. It's overpowering and it takes away from the rest of the flavors. So yeah, you
Right.
could swear in your song, but if you're swearing every other word, it's just like, where's the creativity? Where's the thought? Where's the conscious element of it? So I want to hail you up for that because a lot of people used to
Appreciate
call me Will Smith for not swearing in my stuff, and it's just like,
it.
look at where he is now. I'm just saying. So,
It's like, you know, I got kids, you know, and my kids listen to my music. You know what I mean?
mhm,
So it's like my oldest is 18. So it's like she listens to the you know the music now. So that's how I learn my music from my kids. But you won't see me
mhm.
just going at it. So my youngest kids, they're rapping my music. So I can't have them rapping cuss words and none of that. You know what I mean? That ain't who I am.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. And you know what I mean? When you realize you have influence on another generation, then it really is up to you to take the charge and say, okay, well, I'm going to do better, or I'm going to continue to propagate this senseless stereotype for the benefit of corporations that are going to overlook me. You know what I mean? It's
Definitely.
like what are we doing when we project ourselves in a negative light?
Right. And
So
it's like you want to show them I can do this too. You know what I mean? Like I ain't got to cuss to get my message across. You know what I mean?
exactly. And like I think I might have I don't even any of my catalog that includes profanity, I don't even have access to except for maybe one song on YouTube. And when I look at that song, it's just like I just shake my head at myself, like, what were you trying to prove? You know what I mean? And I remember I was so proud. I went to the International Academy of Design and Technology and I recorded my song, recorded the video, edited the video. I was so excited about it that I went to my English teacher, back to my English teacher in high school, and I showed it to her. And she looked at me like, you're much better than this. You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? And I was just when she said that, I was just like, okay. And it took me a minute for it to click in, but then I realized what she meant is like, there's more that I'm capable of than the same thing that they're doing. And since then, it's been a change. It's been a conscious change. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. So as a how many like I have a daughter too, two older boys, but do you find it's different being a parent to a female than it is parenting males?
Uh, I can say in a way, but you know, I got four girls and two boys. So
Okay.
and you know, my girls, I don't know, maybe they probably tougher than my boys are.
Oh
So
man,
I
you know
mean,
what? Okay, okay. Yeah, I know my girl's like she shows me up sometimes. Like we went for a hike. Um yes, on Sunday we went for a hike. My girl's just up the hill. I'm in the back and I'm like looking up the hill like, is this I mean, you 11. I got like 26 years on you right now.
right, right, like
Like,
don't underestimate them, man.
yeah, I'm telling you. But the thing is, from time, right? Like she's had a climbing wall in her room. Like when she was, we moved out here when she was 2, going on 3. We moved out to Niagara, Welland area, and
Mm,
she liked climbing. Like, we never had baby gates on the stairs or nothing. She fell down the stairs one time, and it was like they were carpeted stairs. She was fine,
Okay.
like, you know what I mean. But like, it was on down a couple of stairs. But she never really had to worry about her on the stairs. So I'm just like, all right. So when I was redesigning the studio, I had an extra wall. So I took all of the spare pieces
Mhm.
of what I was cutting, and then I drilled it to a door. Then I put that door up on the wall, and I reinforced it. And then I put like a mattress underneath it, so she could just climb and then fall however she wants to, right?
Right. That's what's up. That's creative.
Yeah. Yeah. So to the point where I remember one time she called me and I was just like, what? And I ran up the stairs and she was at the top of the door and she was like holding on to the door. And I'm just like, yes. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those proud moments. Like,
Yeah,
she
success.
achieved something. Yes, yes. So it's like, I find when we give them challenges that they can overcome, they're so much more willing to attempt challenges on their own merit.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things, man. Yeah. So geez, life is happening. I can't avoid it. Nobody can. It's in the
Right.
news. It's all over the place. So we might as well talk about it because we're educated individuals and we're attempting to deal with this. You know what I mean? So maybe something that we're doing can cast some light on other people. How are you handling this global pandemic, this COVID business? Like,
I mean, you gotta stay safe, man. I mean, I know they saying in certain places you ain't gotta wear your mask and all that, but forget that. Wear your mask anyway. Wash your hands. Same everyday life though. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing extra. It's just like this is stuff that you have to do. We been had to do it. A lot of people didn't do it, and it shows. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But this is what we got to do on a day basis anyway. So it's like you just gotta stay positive, man, and just we're gonna get through it.
yep, yep, yep. Definite, definite. Just been trying to get that stuff. And I think like podcasting and the online media streams are definitely picking up now.
Right.
I, I realize how much it's like there's a dependence on it now because I have a small business. So, you know what I mean? I run everything through the internet. And yesterday the internet was down and it was just like, okay,
Yeah, that's the. It's
yeah,
bad too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just like I didn't realize the weight I had put on it. I still had another way around it, mind you, because I have extra data on my phone, but it was still the fact that I don't know, something I was paying for wasn't available to me. And like it was not just that, but it was having a negative effect on other things. My daughter couldn't do her schooling. My wife wasn't able to get her programs going. And it's just like at that point, I was just like, okay, I was fine not being able to do my thing. But once my wife and daughter were interfered with, I turned into a complete demon, bro.
Right. That's a problem.
Yo, I'm showing you, I was on the phone with that internet company for like 3 hours.
Oh man, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, so I guess I say that to say, what is your trigger? Like, what sets you off when it comes to the corporate world?
Man, what sets me off? That's a good question because I haven't really thought about it. Like I don't know. Maybe just the argumentation over like the no mask wearing or whatever.
Yeah,
It's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like just live, just be grown. Like
yeah,
tomorrow
just
ain't promised. You know what I mean?
exactly. It's like, oh, what was my wife saying the other day? She goes, it's really funny. I don't know what it's like down in the States, but up here we have to bring our kids to get vaccinated, right?
Hmm.
And we vaccinate them at like 6 months, like 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 2 years. and I think again at like 4 or something like that. We get vaccinated like 4 or 5 times, basically. And
Okay.
the big argument now is, well, why do we as adults have to get a vaccine? Meanwhile, as kids, we were pretty much indoctrined into being vaccinated. So
Right.
why, after going through all of that, are you going to argue with something that clearly works because we're not dealing with the things that we're being vaccinated for?
Yeah.
I it just I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. And there's a
I
lot of
don't know. It's a lot going on with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe a lot of people feel like they don't know what's being put in their bodies, but at the same time, when you're a child, you don't know either. So it's like it's no difference.
yeah,
So
but
it's like,
the research is there. Google is ever present. You know what I mean? You want to know anything, you could ask Google or Alexa. Stop, Alexa, stop. See what I mean? I can't even say her name without her turning on. Like as soon as I said her name, the blue light just whoops. Like, what do you want? It's just, oh my goodness. So it's like, okay, there's the next thing. How do you feel about these advances in artificial intelligence?
hmm, I don't really get into that, being
Okay,
real. So I ain't gonna sit here in front to you and try to make up something because that would just be dumb.
okay, okay. So like for example, it's just like, do you think that like where we've come for what you have like for what you have interacted with by way of like the Google and stuff like that, do you think it's helping or hindering like people by its availability?
I mean, it can help in a way because a lot of people work online. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And as far as like you said earlier, when it's shut down and it stopped, then that can cause issues as well. So it's like a
Double-edged sword. It's a double-edged
right.
sword. Yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true. Okay, so oh man. All right, we're gonna have someone join us soon. Not exactly sure when she's gonna pop in, but been working with Alicia Ali lately. She's a talented writer. She owns her own business, Weaving Your Heirloom, and it's
Okay.
basically, I don't want to misrepresent what she does, but it basically touches she touches base on like intergenerational issues in within the culture. So it's like basically us repeating things that were done by our parents and their parents before
Mm,
them, and trying to break that, I think trying to break that habit or break that stigma of like creating an idea that we have to do what was done before us. In
okay.
some ways it does, in some ways it makes sense, like, we have to respect our elders, we have to provide for, our families, but there's some things like for example, the way we were corrected, our behaviors were corrected, a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people were spoken to sternly, some people were spanked, some people like got their ass straight up torn. But you know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's just different ways to handle things that we can that we can, do, or that we can use to better ourselves. So yeah, we're gonna bring her in. I gotta shout out DUI, my dude who did the promo for you there. Um,
Okay.
he must have slapped that ticket. I don't know how he got that done. I sent it to him like 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. He said he had 2, 3 meetings today, and somehow he still managed to fit that in. So,
Nice.
that,
Nice. Whoa.
yeah, man, gotta big him up still. Okay.
Yeah, I wanna shout out my mom. Happy birthday.
Yes, yes, yes. I
Definitely.
know we don't ask a lady what her age is, but congratulations on achieving another year. Um, I hold on a second. I might have to reload the page, but that will no, I shouldn't have to reload the page. Um, still waiting for someone to join, Alicia to join. She said she's in, but it's not showing her. So if it doesn't work again, I'm going to reload the page.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so while we were waiting for her, um, sitting here, it's like, so what'd you get into today?
Uh, family life.
All
Dealing with my
right.
kids. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I did today. And prepare for what we got going on here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I also got the a second single I also dropped as well called Taylor 2.
Taylor
And
2.
yeah, that's like it's pretty much like a story all made up, you know what I mean? But it's somebody's story. It happened somewhere, I don't know where, you know what I mean? But um I was gonna do a video for it, but I want to actually somehow try to turn it into either a movie or a series. I don't know how to do, like nothing about that. So
Okay.
if anybody out there listening, y'all know something about that and y'all interested, get with me. Um, Also play your position. The video is coming soon, very soon.
The, the melody on that, like, I'm telling you, man, that sounds like a radio song for real. Like, and there's people going through that kind of stuff. It's just
Right, right.
like I said, bro. The level of creativity in there. It was like even as you're breaking down the story, it's like, and then when you got to the point where it's like, okay, you're not acting right. I'm gonna have to find a number three. I'm just like, oh, bird.
Yeah, a lot of people like that part.
I was like, if there ever was a part where you're checking somebody, that's definitely the one, man. Oh my goodness, that was great. So,
That's
any? Go ahead.
honest. Yeah, that's. I feel like that's gonna be a summer banger. You know what I mean? Like, soon as that get out there, cause like you said, it's a lot of people going through that, and yeah,
Hmm.
it's a good one. It's a good one. I say that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Okay, so what would you say? Where would you say your lane is where it comes to? I want to say the five parts of rap. What is your What is your the order? Because there's the delivery, there's the cadence, there's the lyrics, there's the wordplay, and then there's the energy. So, like, how would you rank that? How would you rank yourself in that with those categories? Like, what is your what's the thing that they know you for?
Uh, well, things everyone knows me for is storytelling and my delivery,
Okay.
and they love the fact that I don't cuss, because
Mm,
like a lot of older people listen to my music as well. So it's like it's everything crammed into one. You know what I'm saying? I
okay.
just be mindful of you know every audience that I may have.
Okay.
And my dad liked to let a lot of his people hear it. My mom let her people hear it. So it's like I don't want to make them look bad by me sitting there swearing, dropping all type of bombs, and they friends looking like, so why am I listening to this again?
Yeah. Okay. Let me try something quick, and then hopefully this will work still. It should keep us running. I want to thank y'all for your patience. Just give me a second. I got to reload this page and see what's going on. All right. Five. There we go. All right. Okay. So we have Alicia now. There we go. All right. There we go. Hi. How's it going, Alicia?
How you doing?
I don't think she can hear me.
Why can't I hear anything?
Oh no, she can't hear me. Okay, hold on a second. Um, There's always something. Hold on. Okay, so
Hello. Sorry about that, David. I couldn't hear you.
I can hear you though.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
Okay. All right. So we're here with Money. He's the
Hi,
I
Money.
want to say the top.
How you doing?
Alicia. I tried to explain what it is that you do, but I don't think I did you justice. So if you'd like to, I remember it had to do with intergenerational behaviors, and I remember it's weaving your heirloom, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got that part down, but like the rest of it, I was just like, I know she used some eloquent educational words, but I don't remember which ones they are. So
Okay. So I founded Weaving Your Heirloom, which is using storytelling and just fictional characters to help intergenerational trauma.
there we go.
Yeah, it's to help heal and restore. And then I do social inclusion and cultural diversity.
Yes. See, there we go. So that's I didn't even get to that part. You know what I mean? So like she's I think the my terminology would be a powerhouse of sorts. So yeah, that's no small task to take on because I've seen it across several walks of life, you know what I mean? And we see it a lot in hip hop. People propagating a perspective that isn't always good for their nature kind of thing or good for their psychology. So we were just talking about how neither of us really swear in our raps. And I think that's an interesting element because you're probably the second person and I'm at 235 episodes that has told me that. So yeah, what do you I find that interesting. But Alicia, how was your day?
So busy. Things are so crazy. It's wonderful.
Okay, good. I see you find tranquility amongst the chaos.
Have to.
Okay. Yep. I did see, when are you putting up that you sent me that video. When are you putting that up? When is that going to be available for?
Oh, so that's just on my Facebook page, but I did that for a job. So that's to help teach and about why being ambiguous is important and not to be defined, not to be in a box. Yeah, that's for a job.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed on that. All right. So, I've been asking them questions, and I kind of preface that you might be starting your own podcast soon. So
yeah,
I'm gonna take a side seat and let you kind of ask a few questions, like take the hosting roles, if you will.
For sure. Well, because my podcast is going to be primarily on the Indo-Caribbean diaspora and how the Indian Caribbean history and the ancestry is like 1 foot in the heritage and the traditions and the customs of India, and 1 step in West Africa and the traditions that have come from the African and Caribbean community. So we're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out of 2 different motherlands.
Yes.
And so what the narrative is to explain who we are and how to define ourselves as a second generation post-colonialism. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess like aside from having these kinds of conversations, like what do we have to do to better our relations with each other?
Oh wow! Well, every country has their issues, right? When it comes to segregation, when it comes to access to resources, when it comes to political and policy issues. I mean, that has been there before we were born. It's like, how are we gonna fix that overnight? And I think through the music, through soca music, through chutney, through dancing, I mean, I think that it is unifying. It does bring us together. Every time you go to a fete, you're hearing everything at a party now. So it's unifying. We're already doing it. But when we bring that back to the society at large, it's still chaotic. It's still hard to do.
Okay. So, Money. Like, I guess I want to say, what's your take on, like, because there's this red table talk, and like it had to do with like there's one thing, and I wanted to get your opinion on this too. The there's a red table talk about the relationship between I want to say the Afrocentric culture and the Asian culture, and the tensions that exist between. Do you find that to be an issue, Money? Like, do you find like you have issues getting along with Asians?
Oh no,
I don't really.
I have no issues getting along with anyone.
Good. Yeah.
Man,
So
we all
I
bleed the
don't know.
same.
Tell them again.
Straight,
I think
we all bleed the same.
No, 100%. And I think that we do know this. We do know we're one. We do know that we're not different. But what happens post-colonialism is still there. And I, that's politics. That's politics that has divided and conquered us. When it comes to Guyana, when it comes to the problems that still face to today, where you still have an Indian village, pure Indians. It's like we're a multicultural society with 6 different people there, and still you have the pockets of, just villages of very based on race and based on access. Where are you from, Money? Like, are you in Ontario? Where are you at?
Oh no, I'm from Buffalo, New York.
American in the house again. Where do you find them, David?
Honestly, I gotta shout out Johnny Armani. He's been the ambassador of Culture Shock since like the day one. You know what I mean? He's been connecting me with people all over America. He's been helping me expand my catalog and my my network. And gotta give him his props where it's due, because it's like anytime I'm at a point where I'm not sure what direction I'm gonna go with the music or the media side of it, he's got like a positive push that helps me open a door to another venture kind of thing. So you know what I mean? I gotta big him up for that. Yeah. Actually, yeah. John, let's talk about Johnny for a minute. How do you know Johnny?
Oh, that's my cousin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's my blood cousin right there.
All right.
My grandmother and his grandmother is sisters.
Okay. That's dope. Yeah. Because
my little one just walked in the room too. All right, get out of here.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. Oh man. It's when you're doing something interesting that they want to see, man. I'm telling you.
All the time. All the time. Yeah, Johnny Armani, yeah, that's my blood cousin actually, and he nice. He is nice.
Yeah. One thing he's always talking about Jungle 103 and the Familia down there and all of that.
That's good.
Yeah, man. So that's big. That's big. And you see, and like I find if people work like that, it's like your family. It's like, boom, okay, I'm working with this connection. You're trying to do this thing. This guy can help do that. Boom, you know what I mean? Like you being on this show helps me because it shows that we're getting content from new people and bringing people from different parts of the world into the show. And I'm hoping to help you by giving you some exposure and hopefully, touching base on something that'll either enlighten you or, make you smile or what have you. You know what I mean? and
Oh
then
yeah, absolutely.
Alicia's here because she's got an interesting view on life that a lot of people don't. I'm being serious. Like a lot of people don't really grasp the whole dynamic of like race relations and the cultural diversity and things of that nature. So I find if you have more conversations about it, people will be more educated on it, and then they'll be able to act more appropriately according to the situation. That was one of the things I enjoyed about living in Toronto.
Yes.
There's like someone from everywhere.
Everywhere.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're talking to your Sri Lankans and you turn to your right and you got a Korean right here. You know what I mean? You spin around, there's some Indonesian individual over there. And then, like, my dude's from, like, Zimbabwe just chilling on the corner. It's just like, all right, cool. But out here, it's like there's like a handful. there's a handful. And even like, I think I'm one of 6 on the one of 6 families on the property, and there's 52 units here. So it's like I go from this diverse. It's like we always play this game, and it might be a little tasteless, but we always play this game because we go from Niagara to Toronto, and it goes from we go from seeing predominantly a Caucasian population to like a diverse, multicultural, more like somewhat Afrocentric, but still multicultural thing where like you can't we play down here, we play count how many colored people you see because it's not that often, and up there we play count how many Caucasian people you see because it's not that often. You know what I mean? It's just a dynamic. So yes, it might be a tasteless game, but it's just pointing out the difference in the population density. You know what I mean? And that's more the point of it. So I just find it to be interesting that, like, depending on where you are, so much can be the same, right, or different, depending on the situation. So, yeah. That's
okay. Well, I wanted to explain that people diversity is is what creativity thrives on, because people are the epitome of creation. We are the creators, and we are the divine creator. So when we create, it is in unison of what we're supposed to do. It's like our potential, our divine potential. It's our purpose in life. So when we conform, or when we try to assimilate, or when we check ourselves in a box, we actually shortchange the creativity. We actually regress. It's like, no, you guys are supposed to be different. You're supposed to be multicultural. You're supposed to be biracial. But, because of the way politics is working, because of the way society is working out in segregation, you're stunting the progression. You're stunting procreation. And it actually wants to thrive. It wants to go wild. Like when you see a rainforest and you see so many different species and you see so many different types of vegetation, we're no different. We're like all in unison with it. So that's my take on why cultural diversity, when it's in a dominant population, it actually regresses. There's no forward thinking. There's no change, and change is the norm.
Oh, okay. Well, you're going to be able to hear more of Alicia's opinions and facts on, if you check Culture Shock issue 9, she does have a poem on there as well. So she's not just a teacher of sorts, she is also a philosopher and a poet. What else we got going on? We got a few different things happening. June 6th, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna have to tune in on June 6th because Expose the North presents Justice for Black Lives 1 year later. It is the culmination of what's been happening since last year at the peaceful demonstration organized by Justice for Black Lives founder Sherry Darlene and company. It's Sunday between the hours of 12 and 4. We're gonna have a few performers. We're gonna have a candid discussion about what we can do to improve, to erase the stigma and improve the integrity, to improve our abilities to deal with adversity, to overcome these complications. And it's gonna take working together. It's gonna take working together. So anybody willing to work with the cause is more than welcome to join. But Money, you
Yes, sir.
haven't asked any questions. So I'm gonna flip the script here. We're gonna let you ask a couple questions while I take a second back seat.
Oh yeah, you put me in the hot seat. I don't really have questions.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to know. I'm really interested in musicians and their inspiration and how they come up with their the writing process. I'm really interested in that.
Okay, well, I mean, this I ain't gonna lie and say it's easy because you know, it takes time, especially when putting together a story or something like that, and it got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be talking about anything because like they're like, so what are you talking about? What are we listening to? You know what I mean? So it takes a little time, and you'll be happy at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm actually working on, the next parts to my story that my single that I dropped, Tell It Too. So I in between characters and then taking a little bit longer because I'm trying to turn it into a series or a movie.
Okay.
So I mean, that's pretty much that.
Now, do you have
How do you? Oh, sorry, David. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you have like, are you writing down the script for the story, or like, are you writing down the story as you make the music, or are you writing the story into the music?
Well, I'm pretty much writing the story into the music. So it's like I also need to on the side, make a script. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
I'm old school with what I told you earlier. I'm old school. I still use notebook.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
You know what I
yes,
Me
mean?
too.
yes.
Me too.
I got
Me
one
too.
kicking around here too. So yeah, I hear you.
This
All
this
right.
the
So it's like,
connection between pen and paper that is you can't replace it.
no, you cannot at all because you can never lose it. You know what I mean? Like things get deleted out of Androids or iPads, whatever, but you got the paper forever.
Mm-hmm.
How do you follow the authenticity of the character? I feel like I can only follow one character at a time. To have so many different characters and their personalities, to me, I don't have a personality disorder in order to do that. Like, how do you keep it so clear and different?
It was like, as far as the Teller two I had, maybe it was five of them altogether, and it was like I didn't get deep into depth about them just so yet. Like that's coming in the middle, but I said their name, and let them know what happened too. So now it's like, okay, now that I have five characters and I done separated them all, okay, this person, he died from this, he did this, he did this, he did this. Okay, now I know. Okay, so in the middle, what led this person up to being this person that they are? And then you just do them each individual.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
you do separate them. Okay, cool.
You separate them. It's like, okay, so with me writing a song like that, I'll probably say, okay, I maybe spend four lines for each person just to get the person out there. Okay, they like, okay, so that happened. So now what? What's next? And then that's where your middle fall into place.
That's an amazing process. That's amazing.
I
Appreciate
just learned something new right there. I just learned something new right there. 'Cause, yeah, I don't. I'm not sure if I storytell as much as I just write lyrics.
That's the
relate.
way to
Like I
go.
tell, yeah,
And also think
yeah,
about it, because
yeah.
if you do the beginning, if you have a beginning and you have an ending already, the middle is easy. You just fill in the lines.
You're right. You're right. But the way you broke it down too, that makes so much sense. Especially like the characters, the amount of characters that you could have, and all of that stuff. So, yeah, no,
Right, right,
that's
right.
yeah,
Just break them down
But
into
you really
bars.
have the
That's it.
feeling.
yeah. What'd you
But
say,
with your
Alicia?
lyrics, you have the feeling down, right? Because the body is just going with the flow of the rhythm, right? You're getting the feeling
Yeah,
out, right?
yeah, and you can actually, once you write it, being that you wrote it, you can actually feel this person because it's basically your
Yeah.
emotion, even though it's a made up story. So it's kind
Yes.
of easier to gravitate, you know?
Okay. So I have a twist. This is how I write. Is
Okay.
that the person that's coming to me and telling me something is actually me. It's a reflection of me. And so I'm projecting it out onto the character, but the
Mhm.
character and I are one. The character is an ancestor. A character is coming to send me a message. So I say to
Mhm.
the character, what is it that you want me to know about you and your life? I'm witnessing, I'm hearing, and they send me one line, and then my imagination is what fills in the blanks.
Yes.
That's how I
Right.
write. That's how I write. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That to me, what you do is amazing. I just do like a fraction of what you do with like 5 different characters. I do that in like 5 different people, right? They give me
But you
like
start with one line. You
yeah,
start
I
only
get
one.
one line.
I got more than one line, so
Oh, right, exactly. So I say I kind of work it backwards. Like, okay, you want me to know this, but where is it coming from? And then I have to kind of fill in the blanks, and then I have to fill in the blanks as well. Like, so to me, my story ends because I don't know where else the character wants me to go. So it just like it's a short story. It's just like a scene. I see the
okay.
scene. That's it. It's done. It's like that's the beginning, middle, and end for me. I can't go any further.
Okay.
Like a to be continued situation.
Yeah, and like David says that a lot to me. Like this seems like it's gonna be a series, but
Yeah. I saw she did a piece earlier today, and like when I finished it, I was like, okay, so what's next? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like you're leading me somewhere. I know I feel like I'm going in a direction, but I don't know where this direction is. So like
And nor do I. Like you're gonna find out when I find out. Like I have no idea where it's gonna take me.
oh
Yeah, that's
man.
nice.
Oh that's great. I did manage to I sent Fallon your socials because she said she needs them.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no problem.
Yes, Fallon's been a supporter of what we've been doing for quite some time now. I gotta shout her out as well. DJ Fally Fowl, she was on episode 232 of the Terrell Effect. That's when we did the 90s mix.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me, it was definitely fun. Definitely was some fun. So yeah, don't you just oh man, I just love it. I'm sitting here. I had the whole day. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reserve this for everything. But then when this time comes, I'm focused on the podcast. I'm on the podcast now, and my phone will not shut up. It's all good though. That's the joy of family. They always need you when you're doing something important.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that's great. So now like we're still waiting for the world to open up here. What's it like down there with the restrictions and everything?
Well, it's not too many restrictions. I mean, you can go to the grocery store. They open bars back up. So you just can't come over there to see you guys.
Mm, damn,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, because we're not that far away from each other. And like I said, I have every intention of doing a festival or at least a big backyard party. That's right. When everything's legal, backyard, I'm having a party. Just so you know out there. My back door is open,
Oh
so I'm
yeah.
letting my neighbors know in advance. We did a barbecue last week, and like we swear, like we started our barbecue, and then it's like someone pokes their head out, and they're like, "Oh, really?" And then they started their barbecue. Then someone else poked their head out. They're like, "Oh, you don't say." And then they started their barbecue. I swear, if we were out there for another 2 hours, everybody would have been barbecuing something. So, you know what I mean? And it's funny how, like, when those kinds of things happen, it's almost like society is waiting for someone to be the first. Like no one wants to be the first to, you know what I mean, to do it. But when someone's the first to do it, it's like, oh, well, they did it. So,
Yes.
mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Definitely.
Man.
I
So,
can't wait to get old.
yeah. Do you play any instruments?
No. I mean, I can
No.
act like I play the drums. I don't know how good it sound.
True. All right. If you were to play an instrument, what would it be? If you were to be proficient in one, like which one would you pick?
That's a good question. That's a good one. It would maybe be the drums, cause I like beats. So if I was able to make my own beats, that'd be dope.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Oh man, that's what's up.
I like the
I found a lot
piano
of your
too, though.
friends. Oh yeah,
Huh?
the piano.
Oh yeah. That's fun. I
I found a
like
lot of your friends are producers. They're producers and musicians.
yeah. Good number of them are some form of creative, like authors, poets, musicians in some right. So I don't know. They say you are like the five people you hang around. So I try to keep the people who are around me. I try to make sure they're going somewhere progressive or doing something to further themselves. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's just part of it. And like I don't know. I find I relate to musicians a lot easier than I do anybody else. It's like, like some scientists kind of, but like mostly musicians. It's just I don't know if I did that intentionally or if it just happened over time. But yeah.
Well, you
Oh
go where
man.
you're celebrated, right?
Yes.
I actually connected with a storyteller group online, and
Mhm.
it was fantastic. I was like, where have you guys been all my life? I have no idea where you guys came from. And like finally I get the gift.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
good. That's awesome.
Nice.
I do have to finesse the art of performance, which you already have told me. Like you need to convey the message to your audience and feel it to them.
Yep.
That I'm working on my performance. So
Hey, like it's working. It's coming out here. It's, you know what I mean. It's like I think you cut your teeth you cut your teeth on it, and then like everything just flows. You know what I mean? So yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we're coming close to the hour mark. Was there anybody that you wanted to shout out?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to shout out my manager, Dawn. I want to, once again, shout out Mom. Happy birthday. Love you.
Yeah.
Shout out the Fraser family. Everybody. Bolden family. Johnny Armani. Appreciate you, cuz. Shout out to you, sir.
Salute.
Just salute what you doing, man. I'm thankful, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Seriously.
No problem,
Shout
fam.
out my
And
first and
yeah.
foremost. I gotta praise the man upstairs, but I gotta shout out my wife because I gotta eat dinner. So.
course. Oh man, on that regard, I gotta give thanks to the wife and Jan the Most High because today was a rough day, bro. Today was rough. Oh my goodness. Oh man. But yeah, no, straight up, there's things happening. You know what I mean? It was really funny that both of your kids came in at the same time. It's like they were trying to beat each other or something. Oh, it was great. Oh my goodness. Alicia, what do you want to promote? Who do you want to shout out?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, Weaving Your Heirloom, of course, my creation. I want to shout out my family as well. I want to shout out, all my supporters that have been fantastic along the way, that have been seeing me on the show too. I mean, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, David. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Glad I can be of some service. All right. So, we are going to be syndicated on Liquid Fire Radio. Shout out to Christy Hales at indie-rocks.ca. This is like episode 95. I mean, I gotta also shout out PNPN because this is in part his idea too. He's just like, he asked me why I didn't have an interview type talk show or podcast. So here it is, you know what I mean? And we're having interesting conversation, candid conversation at that. So, it opens the door to enlighten others as well. So, you know what I mean? Yeah,
thank you.
So, no problem. So, on behalf of Money and Alicia Ali, this is David the Block Terrell saying, bless up, block out.